the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think what Kyle's trying to say, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be at a
Right,
restaurant.
but
or
still,
something,
if you don't put yourself in that situation either. Even but we're reading the Bible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though you're both Christians and you're like, but we were doing this, but you're still putting yourself in a situation you should not be in. You should always be with a group or under supervision of an adult.
Oh, and one thing that that has came to my life was I knew this girl, she liked me, and she knew that I was not religious, but I did follow Jesus. And she was like, "Hey, we should have a Bible study together." I'm like, "Ah, man, I know where she's going with this." After we're done reading a few little verses, "Hey, so so like, how's your day?" You know, like I knew she was gonna try to get into that indulgement, but did I respond to it? No, I didn't, because I didn't want to do that. But unfortunately, it can come towards you, so you need to know. And I didn't want to say this because I know myself. I know that I'll probably fall into it too, so that's why I said no. Men, you need to know yourself. But if you do know yourself, oh, I'm strong enough to defeat this thing. No, you aren't. You aren't. The moment you go into the bed, regardless if there's a Bible in there, it's not going to do anything.
Okay.
Oh my God. For you, it's not going to do anything to go to stop you from indulging into
Okay.
that.
What do you think is a good age to start dating?
Oh. 25. So me and Kyler, we were actually talking about this on the phone, and now I remember God is telling me very strongly, Ariel, I mean, how many times are you gonna go through? I guess not necessarily heartbreak, but because I never get my heart broken anyway. But that's beside the point. But the thing is, I feel God saying, which is worse, and that is emptiness. Ariel, how many times are you going to go through this emptiness and if you don't have priorities? I'm like, what do you mean priorities? Number one, Ariel, do you have a car? No, I do not. Do you have money to provide for her, to at least go out to where? To Jack in the Box to buy her some? No. And then number three is, are you aligned with me as you should be? Do you have a life of prayer? No. You see, that's why you should not go ahead and be doing this to yourself. So I would suppose dating, if you have all your priorities straight, and then you go out and seek after a girl. Because ladies here, since y'all guys are Christians, y'all guys, since y'all ladies are Christians, y'all need to have standards rather than the average lady out there. Because the Bible has standards for us men. To make sure the man has priorities straight, then y'all guys would date.
Also, that's a good thing about priorities, making sure your priorities are right, because in the Bible, the first thing God gave Adam wasn't a woman. The first thing God gave Adam was responsibility. He told him to tend to the garden. Oh, some of y'all looking for women, but you don't have your responsibilities in order. That's a word right there. I'm talking to you.
Amen, brother. Preach on.
You see, you don't have a job, don't have money. How are you gonna provide for the girl? You know. And so, like, I thought just being me was enough. Like, just entertaining her, making her smile and stuff like that. That's not gonna be cool. Or seeing her just in school, how are you gonna drive? You know, how y'all gonna go on dates? What is so the relationship is gonna go down if all y'all are doing you don't have your priorities together. So I think waiting the proper age, but somebody said the age for when you should start dating. I think I don't think there's a limit on when you should start dating, because I started dating in elementary, so I was getting down in third grade, you know, but I'm trying to think, but like I wouldn't recommend that, because at my house, my dad, he doesn't care about me dating, but on the other side, my sister, he's like, no, you gotta be 65 till you start dating, so it doesn't matter, but like but I guess it's just like based on maturity and whenever you're ready to start dating. And making sure that person is ready too for a commitment. I think a lot of people, like Ariel was saying yesterday, you need to date in mind as someone that you're going to be committed to. Like, you shouldn't just date just to mess around with someone or say I'm gonna hit it and quit it, you know, and I'm gonna be done with it, you know, or just dating just to date, you know, like date with a goal in mind, with a long-term goal in mind, like, hey, I'm only gonna date you because I think I have a future with this person. You know, you could see yourself with that person. I had this one girl that I was like, wow, like I could see myself, you know, but it is high school. But I was like, you know, I know, no, for real, because this girl, you know, she was athletic, you know, intellectual, you know, light skinned girl, curly hair, you know, that I was falling for. And she, you know, woman of God, Michael Jackson fan. I was like, oh, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this is perfect. I can see ourselves together, but you know. I told y'all she found us someone else, you know. I told y'all he on the court, you know, I'm in a pulpit, so two different things, you know, but yeah,
Don't cry.
yeah. So one question here is, how should you deal with heartbreak?
Andrew?
Okay, so you think then, huh?
Or what would necessarily be the steps on how to reduce heartbreak or?
Okay, so since you've never experienced heartbreak,
Well,
because I don't get my heart broken,
I would
so
know how to.
okay,
Let
I'll
me throw
tell
you another
you.
question.
Okay.
Who is the only one who can put the pieces back together?
Jesus. But if you want to get practical, because like people like they do like people like of course like you can pray and stuff like that, and you can be like, God, you know, help me with my broken heart, you know, and stuff like that. You can go to Him, and Jesus will help you get through grief. We did a message on grief. We will go in there and look it up on iTunes, all that other great materials and stuff we have. But one way that you deal like with heartbreak is you got to just sometimes do some things that just get your mind off of the person too, because sometimes you just be thinking about it, and sometimes I think like we feed into our own self-pity parties. Like God was letting me know, like, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like I kept on listening to sad music because that like last week, like I really just had to get out of it. Like I told y'all about the girl that I had classes with, and that message, it's a setup, and so I was like, wow. And so like I've been listening to like sad music, like my Michael Jackson, you know, like Remember the Time, you know, She's Out of My Life. Listen to all these sad songs, and here I am. All I do is think of you by Jackson 5. You know, I'm just thinking like, God, like girl, come on, like we could have been somewhere. You know, we could have had a future. We could, me and you, you know. And I was just listening to all this sad music, and it was like I was just keeping myself down. And it's because like sometimes you just gotta change your mindset. You gotta change what it is you're feeding into your spirit. Because if you continue listening to sad songs, you're gonna continue to be sad. And misery loves company. So you just go to Jesus and get your mind, do something, get your mind off of it, and don't feed into your own self-pity. Okay, so somebody said here, I've gotten rejected so many times that I lost count. I hate myself. Why should God put me through so much heartbreak? Okay, same question that I've wondered before. No, honestly, well, why do I have to be heartbroken so many times? Well, I don't think rejection is rejection unless you get out there and you do something. Because I thought rejection, I thought I was getting rejected, and I was just admiring the girl. So I was like, she's not even talking to me. So I was like, man, I'm rejected. Now I'm talking about, do you remember the time? Like, what time? Like, what were we doing? You know, like, and so I'm over here, like, for real, like, listening to sad music. And I'm like, me and this girl, we never talked before. Like, I was just liking her because we had pre-cal together. Like, we never had a conversation. And so I think, you know, rejection is never rejection unless you've gone out there and you've tried to go out there and try to talk to the person, try to get out there. But, you know, why have you gotten rejected so many times? It may not be the girl that's the problem. Sometimes if you continue to get rejected, no, it may be a sign of a real character check. You may need to start checking yourself. If you're getting rejected that many times, every girl, you know, you got a relationship with one girl, then it goes sour. The next minute, like every relationship, hell seems to follow me wherever I go. Everywhere you go, you know, it's always got to be with you. You know, it may be like where you start doing a personal check, you know, like, okay, well, do I complain? You need to start pulling out your notes, start saying, okay, what am I speech? What am I saying? How am I acting? Am I showing her love? How am I in my faith? Where am I in purity? You need to start just checking yourself, because it may be you. So sometimes we're blaming God for stuff that in reality is your fault.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, I agree with that. And there's one message by Stephen Furtick. The title was "A Blessing." Rejection can be a blessing. And I didn't watch the sermon, but I could kind of, I kind of cut in the middle. I'm like, oh, okay, he's talking about that. And it was, what if God is using your rejection so that you may get closer to Him? And I see, and it could also go this other way as well. I've dealt with so many youth who are angry at God because of their broken homes and because of the families that they're dealing with at that house, that they don't want to go home because of all the problems that they're going to face. And then so they get mad at God, saying, God, why are you doing this? How come I don't feel you at all? Where are you? Now, that thing could also do with rejection. What if your family is rejecting you? What if other people are rejecting you? What if God is using that rejection so that you may go to Him first and get your priorities straight and get your subcheck straight, and then you may go out and start dating. So rejection can be a blessing. It may be a setup.
And we've said before, man's rejection is always God's redirection. So it's always something better in store for you. You know, yeah, God, man's rejection is always God's redirection. Because sometimes, we said before, like you could be rejected from something, but it can always lead to something greater at the end. Okay, so we have a question here. Why do I have to wait for marriage in order to have sex? Why is sex spiritual? And we're going to take some of the last questions here. Okay, what if I'm never getting married or get in a relationship because I don't have confidence? You should have been here when we taught about a message and low the bar. Okay, so not this one. Go ahead.
So I'll ask the question about why to save sex after marriage, and my answer to that is because if let's just say if you had a child right now or sex right now, and you end up having a child, obviously. Right now, I don't think anyone here is in the state of financial state to support a child, and it just creates problems for the future. But if you are in that state and you are in a good relationship, it's because God says that that marriage is a unification of man and woman, and that's it's a special relationship we have. And if there's not that connection, right, you get that connection when you get married. If there's not that connection, sex just means nothing. So you have to have that connection in order to, or when you're married. And sex before marriage is it's not, it doesn't reinforce that connection. It's nothing special, and and it's just not. It's not.
I don't know.
Not logical.
Yeah, it's not logical. It's not logical.
So
Can I add something to that? When y'all have sex, anybody has sex before marriage, the devil will always try to copycat whatever God wants, right? So like you can get high in the Holy Spirit, and the devil wants to give you all this other drugs to get high. So anyway, so sex is such a beautiful thing that God made for us to enjoy. But if you do it under the covenant of marriage, you're under a protection. When you do it outside of that, then you're under a curse. So then it's your choice. So when bad things happen to you afterwards, or when your marriage goes bad, it's consequences from our actions. And also, whenever two people have sex, you have a transfer going on because two become one, and there's a transfer of demons coming from one person to the other, and vice versa. So you're making that exchange. So you just gotta, it's something pretty wild.
yeah, so right here, like adding on to Andrew, and we're gonna wrap this up here.